So here we go, starting 2021, it was an interesting beginning to a year because it was the first time in well over 25 years that I was going to start a year without fishing any major tour. This was a change for us. This was a pause. But let me tell you, this was not retirement at all. And, when we looked at what we were going to be doing in 21, it was really a mirror image of everything we pushed for in 2020. We were going to double our workload, our content, digital, our output, our lives. We were going to be producing a brand new TV show, My World. And I'm not talking about just the talent. I'm talking about all of it. We were filming, producing, editing, marketing, all of it, writing storylines. We were all in on this TV show. And, the great thing about it is, we had proof that it worked. And, I remember the fall of 2020, early 2021, I remember having conversations with every single sponsor that we work with. And I remember them saying, go for it, and keep doing what you're doing, and how they were almost amazed that we were able to have this kind of value and have this kind of worth and have this exposure presence without a tournament circuit, right? Without having to rely on fishing a full tour. Man, I gotta be honest with you, this entire interview up to this point was pretty easy because all I had to do was recall the past, right? I just had to close my eyes for a second and remember what happened, what already happened. That's easy. That's easy to look back and tell the story. This is a hard part because I'm gonna tell you the future now, which, you never know exactly how it's gonna happen. You can only put something into the universe and work hard at it and try to reach those goals. It's part of the reason, though, I'm excited about moving forward. I'm excited about 2022 and beyond, because I think there's some great things in my future. When I look at the businesses, I can tell you that I see great growth and continued growth in all the businesses. When we made the decision to go back to bass and tournament fish again at the top level in 22, we never once said, we're gonna stop everything else and just go back to tournament fishing. The opposite, we said, how can going back to top level tour fishing help all these other businesses? And that's how we're going to look at it. So when I look at Bass University and Ike Live and Pro Edge, when I look at the Ike Foundation and getting kids involved in fishing, I look at it as this is another way we're going to grow those businesses. When I look at the new TV show, My World, we're going to continue on with it. And how could I use returning to top tour level fishing to help elevate the show as well? So from a standpoint of all that in content and social, man, we're going to keep going on strong. From a competitive standpoint, I've always been like this, and it's never changed from when I was fishing at Top Rod Bassmasters at 18 in a little John boat to now being one of the old guys on tour. I'm going to be 50. I'm honestly one of the seniors on tour. But I fish every tournament believing that I can win. And that's my goals, for 2022 and beyond is to go back and win events. And I see a blue trophy in my future. I see a win, an elite win in my future. I see striving to make the classic, striving to win the Bassmaster Classic. I want to be a consistent angler, and I strive to try to win another AOY, another Angler of the Year. So from a competitive standpoint, you know, I see all those things happening. I'm older. Physically, my body is definitely not the same as I was in my 20s or 30s or even 40s. But mentally, man, I have the drive that I had from when I was a kid. And I want to win. And I'm going to work, and I'm going to fish dark to dark. And I'm going to try to go and compete. You know, the other part to it, which is, what's the future of the sport? What's the future of the leagues? And that's a harder one to predict and to determine. You know, going back to bass for me was a decision that made sense. But there are still other leagues out there. You know, I got to be honest with you and tell you that for the sport itself to reach the highest pinnacle it could reach, for bass fishing to get to the level of NASCAR or baseball or football or for it to get elevated to that level, there has to only be one league. That has to happen. It's an honest, statement. We can't have Major League Fishing, BASS, MLFF. We can't have 2 or 3, 4 tours. We have to have one top tour. That day has to happen for us. And I honestly sit here and tell you that I don't know who's going to be that one circuit. 5 years, 10 years, I don't know, 15 years, I don't know when it's going to happen. But for the sport to get to that top level, there has to only be one league. You know, the other thing that I feel like has to happen is the anglers still have to unite as a group of professional anglers. So right now we have the MLF, we have BASS, and we have these diluted groups of anglers in each league. That's not bad in itself, but what's bad is the anglers should unite as a group of professional anglers. It's the same fight, the same talk that happened before the split. Guess what? Nothing's changed. Is it better at bass right now? I think it is. Is it a little better at MLF? Maybe. But the ultimate thing that has to happen is the anglers have to unite across the different tours. Until that happens, we'll never really have a say. We'll never really have control of our own destiny. We have to unite above and beyond the leagues to get our status to the highest level. That has to happen. So there's that. And then, you know, there's the matter of when is enough for me. Coming into this year, it's funny, I'm old, but I feel like a rookie again. I'm renewed, I'm revived, I'm full of energy, I want to compete, I want to win. I feel like a rookie. But at some point, I got to tell you that I see the end. And I want the end to happen. I'm not taking anything against touring anglers out there now that are still competing at the highest level in their mid to late 60s, early 70s. Man, Rick Clunn, I couldn't think of a better example than Rick Clunn. And I don't take anything away from Rick. He's the best angler that ever was, that ever will be, and he's still competing in his 70s. But I can tell you 100%, I can tell you that I don't want that to be me. So what's my number? Man, it's hard to say. Is it 2 or 3 years? Is it 5 years? Is it 10? Can I ride it out for another 10 years at the highest level of tour fishing? I don't know the answer to that, but what I think the answer will be is that it will find itself. That decision will be made on its own. As I look back at everything that we talked about in this series, man, it was so awesome to be able to share it with you guys, to be able to tell the story and let it out and tell the real story of how it happened. It was so freeing to me. But the one thing that comes out loud and clear is that in life, things happen when they're supposed to happen. And when I look back on my highest highs and lowest lows, they all came at times when they were supposed to happen. So as I close this series out for you guys, I can tell you that I don't know when I'll be done in professional fishing, in competitive fishing. I don't know when that will be, but it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. Supposed to happen. Supposed to happen.
Yeah, never give up. Heard you had a bad day. It ain't going your way. Yeah, never give up. Heard my life was a movie. I got people trying to use me. I will never give up. It's not about where you at, it's about where you headed. And all the things they say about you only heard if you let it. I gotta put on for the kids, cause they getting the message. I'm on my knees thanking God, look at all of my blessings. Look at little old me doing real big things from a real small town. I'ma make them all proud. And these kids need a leader, I'ma show them all how. Anybody in my way, then we gon' mow them all down. Hey, from the Garden State, I got some deep roots. Fisherman drip with some new boots. I almost didn't make it, that's the real truth. They call me the general, I got real juice. Pull up in a Bass Cat doing donuts. When I'm at the classic, the people go nuts. Heard you had a bad day. It ain't going your way. Yeah, never give up. Heard my life was a movie. I got people trying to use me. I will never give up.